All right, it's time to make some caramel roll coffee cake. Preheat your oven, grease up your favorite 9 by 13 pan, and let's start going. Put a cup of warm water in there, a 3/4 cup of milk. This is going to go in with yeast, so we're going to have to let that bloom for a second. We're going to put 3 tablespoons of yeast. I might go a little heavy on that, but I like a yeasty flavor. And then we're going to start the caramel. This is a cup of brown sugar. And then we're also going to put in a 1/4 cup of corn syrup. Ignore the butter that's already in the pan because look at this. Isn't this funny? Look at me. Let me start with this. That's funny. I actually put a 1/2 cup of butter in there instead of a 1/3 of a cup because I had to put a 1/2 of a cup in later. You'll see that. So here I have boiled until it has become caramelized. I think I put too much butter in that. You can see it kind of dripping out. And maybe I didn't cook it as much, but it ended up turning out pretty well anyway. It wasn't horribly sticky to take off of the bottom. Now here I'm going back to the dough. You can see the yeast has bloomed up a little bit. I'm putting some salt in there. And then we're putting some more melted butter into there. Another 1/2 of a cup. Egg test. There's that, just for fun. So 2 eggs go in there, and then the recipe called for 5 to 6 cups of flour, and this is where I went wrong. I thought I had more flour than I did, and I ended up with a dough that was way too sticky, and not enough flour to fix that. So oopsie daisies. But we're making the topping anyway. So it was 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar, 2/3 of a cup of white sugar, and then we're going to add more butter. I did screw up the measurements, but this didn't ultimately affect the taste. There's roughly 2 whole sticks of butter in this recipe. It's horribly bad for you. But anyway, nutmeg, again, light on the spices. Go check out my ginger muffins video for details on spices. But anyway, the original recipe called for cinnamon. But I used nutmeg because that's what I had. And look at the sticky hands, the gross counter. This took an absurd amount of time to clean. I tried to roll it out because this was originally supposed to be caramel rolls. But as a wise caterpillar once said, when you can't get it all together, improvise. He didn't say it like that, but you know what I mean. If you need to look at where that comes from, I recommend watching the hit 1970s classic Here Comes Peter Cottontail. It's a very popular movie among my family. But I crossed my fingers. I hoped for the best, and it actually came out pretty decent. Here, I'm going to let it bubble a little bit. Yeah, isn't that nice? It looks nice, The butter definitely did sink into the middle a little bit and make this weird divot. So here I am doing the knife test for doneness. I'm just kind of poking it in there. It came out clean. I was a little unsure about the middle bit. So what I ended up doing is kind of scooping that out and smearing it on top because it was largely just butter. And the dough, I think the dough was done in the middle. But ultimately, I just kind of smushed it on top. And then when I did serve myself later on, because you gotta eat it while it's warm, right? That's the best time to eat it. When I served myself later, as you can see here, I cut out a piece from the middle. That's not me being a weirdo, that's just tactics. All right, friends, it is now time for the taste test. I have a bowl of my scooped out caramel roll, flattened, whatever I end up calling this. I'm sure you'll see it in the title. But I've scooped it out. Got myself my jug of oat milk to go along with it. And this is piping hot, coming straight from the oven. Hopefully I don't burn my mouth to pieces. Bone apple teeth. I'll tell you what. Very sweet, yeasty. I enjoy a good yeast flavor. Maybe a bit too yeasty, but I personally enjoy this. So I hope you enjoyed watching me, and I hope that you go make your own caramel rolls.
Or maybe you'll just have to improvise.